Good morning and welcome to Jukebox Judgement. Here with me, Dawn Parry, your host for the next 2 hours. And we are all on www.newdawn.fm. It's a fabulous day, whatever the day is like, wherever you are and whatever time it is, because we have 4 top world-class record producer judges on the panel this morning, as every Friday morning. Good morning to Steve Lillywhite.
Good morning, Dawn, and good morning to my fellow panellists.
Thank you, Steve.
Panel beaters, to my fellow panel beaters.
Yes, well, your fellow panel beaters, and of course, you know, in a little while we'll discover the victims as well. Well, good morning as well to Steve James, that was Steve Lillywhite, who is coming in from Bali in Indonesia right now. And we've got Steve James, who's actually flown 36 hours or so, all the way from Brisbane, who's got a bit of jet lag and is now in London. Good morning, Steve James.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dawn. Yes, and I can actually say good morning this time instead of it sounding a bit weird when it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But good morning, everybody, and I'm really looking forward to hearing some wonderous music today.
Thank you, Steve James. Always a delight to have you on the show, Steve. And what an effort you've made to fly all the way over. And good morning. We're doing all the Steves first. Good morning to Steve Smiley Barnard. Good morning, Smiley.
How are we all?
We're lovely, Steve. All the better for seeing you, darling.
Oh, and you.
And good morning to Barry Upton, who is, in fact, coming in, as usual, from Thailand, from Pattaya in Thailand.
Yes, the only non-Steve on the show. The only non-Steve who's male, I should say, right?
Yeah, thanks for that.
You join me in Thailand on a very special day, because today is Loi Krathong. And it's the happiest day in Thailand, because everybody's happy on Loi Krathong. And what we do, we float these little banana boats with candles and flowers and a little bit of money. And you apologize for the water. You float them in water and you apologize to the water for all the bad things you've done to it over the year. It's a tradition.
Is yours quite a big boat, Barry?
No, but it takes me a long time to go through all my apologies.
Just a little bit of money.
Yeah, just a tad.
Oh, you do. You just put a little bit of change in there. You know, the idea is that you float it away, and all your dreams will come true.
Do you know? I like the bigger idea there, Barry. The bigger idea being that water is God, so you ask the water for forgiveness. I love that. You know,
in a way, it is
absolutely a non-religious God. I like that very much. Right,
we just ask Steve Lillywhite for forgiveness, don't we?
He floats a lily pad.
Oh, do you know what? You are such a creep, Smiley. Anyway.
No, I think he's right. That's a good idea.
Of course you do, darling. Of course. Okay, well, let's begin, shall we? Because we have lots of artists to get through this morning, and
number one.
Wonderful. So, all got our pens and paper handy. Listeners,
Yep.
Why don't you do the same thing? Get your pens, get your paper, and you make your decisions as well. Because ultimately, this is all about how a piece of music will make you feel, how a song will make you feel, and how you feel about it. So let us know in the social media threads as well. Okay, so we have a band called SACK, S-A-C-K. The track is called What a Way to Live. That was Sack, excuse me, Sack with What a Way to Live. And they are a Dublin band. And in fact, just had a message through from somebody as well, who is just saying that they are from Dublin and not sure how long they've been together. In fact, I don't have the information of how long they've been together either. And John Berriton from the band runs a massive Bowie festival in Dublin every year. Now, I've got an email here from John Berriton who's invited me to a gig, but the date has gone by, and unfortunately I wasn't here to be able to go to it. So what other... John Grant, The Divine Comedy. So Sack was engineered by Bar Quinn. John Grant, The Divine Comedy, Villagers and so on at Dublin's Sonic Studios, with the exception of What a Way to Live being recorded at Dublin's Windmill Lane Studios. So I don't know how long they've been together. It could be that they are revival artists or not. I'm not actually too sure here. Steve Lillywhite, would you like to go first, please? But you'll need to unmute your mic, please. Thank you.
Sorry, I was turning it up loud when it was on because I love that record. That was a great record. What a great way to start. I mean, I was like, when I was thinking, at one point I was thinking, well, it doesn't really have a hook because it didn't go to the chorus after the first verse, just went to another verse. But so then it was like, okay, what is the chorus? And then the chorus was, I didn't quite understand it because it went to some chords that I wasn't expecting. Second time round, I went, oh, okay, that was good. Lovely builds in the song. I mean, personally, I wouldn't have done the radio voice. There was probably no point in having that. Things like that would probably date it. But a great song and a really, really nice piece of music. Oh, well done. I call them the Sack. And
Well,
because we all have one, let's face it. But no, it was a fantastic record, and what a great way to start. Well done, guys. And Windmill Lane is a studio that I have worked at, of course, since 1979, even though it's moved location, so it's not even in Windmill Lane anymore. But a great vibe and a great place. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve Lillywhite. I don't have a sack. I've got 2 hot water bottles, but I don't have a sack. Steve James, would you like to go next, please?
I agreed with Steve. What a wonderful way to start. I thought that was brilliant. For a minute, I thought I was going to go into Riders on the Storm for a second, because it didn't it? There was a bit of Doors going on. I've written here, Stranglers a bit.
Yeah.
A bit. He's got Iggy Pop vibrato a tiny bit, I thought. But brilliant, really cool. Love the song. Great vocals, well produced, nicely mixed. My only comment would be I just thought it was a bit too long. But otherwise, I thought that was fantastic. I'd actually play that again.
Okay. Thank you very much, Steve James. And Barry Upton.
I loved it. It was they're called Sack and they've got balls. That's all I can say.
It had
Come
to
on,
happen.
what do you expect from me? And it really did, but it really did have balls. It had energy all from beginning right the way through, and it was very well produced, and it was entertaining. And I thought the same as Steve James, that I heard a little bit of Hugh Cornwall in there at the beginning. But then I suddenly thought, there's a bit of Doors, Riders on the Storm there. And it's like a well-produced or a more produced Riders on the Storm with extra weirdness in it. And I enjoyed the weirdness.
Okay, thank you very much, Barry Upton. And Smiley.
That was absolutely fabulous. There was, I can't think of anything I didn't like about that. I thought the production was incredible. I wrote the Doors as well. It was like a modern day Doors. And what I liked is, like, you could see all of us wondering where it was going to go next. Because as Steve said, it didn't go where you thought it was going to go. But when it did go there, it kind of took you with you. And then there was some really cool chords in it. He also used the greatest line I've heard for ages, which was, a man with a van has a plan up his sleeve, right? Which even Barry would tell you that's lyrical genius there.
That's a great line. Fabulous line.
You know? So honestly, That's faultless for me, Dawn. That's absolutely brilliant song.
Wonderful. And would I play it on air? Yes, absolutely. I loved it as well. I loved the lyrics. I thought they were very good. And when the van line came up, made me think of what I'm doing this weekend with the van. I'm going to get a chair. Wonderful. Another adventure. Another adventure in the make. Like I need
3 chairs for Dawn.
Oh God. Do you know, I had weeks of this.
Sorry, Dawn. You might have to rethink your guests, Dawn, on a Friday.
we love you, really, Barry. Yes, so Sack with What a Way to Live. Lovely track. Okay, now we have got the next artist. This is Randy Parsons with a track called Flashback.
I came across an old photograph. You're standing smiling at me. A warm October day, back in the yard, behind our house by the sea. Oh, don't it seem like yesterday? Say that we loved and lost, that nothing golden can stay. We're both in somebody else's arms. We're miles and memories away. Oh, don't it seem like yesterday? Children play. Flashback, an October day, you're there with me. Flashback, I know we can't stay. Flashback with me.
Randy Parsons, and that track is called Flashback. Now, I'm unable to get into the attachment that has the details, and I don't know why. I've just been searching for something to read the information, and I don't have any. I think the only thing that I can guess from this, from the accent, is that Randy, she is from the US. Barry Upton, would you like to go first on this? please?
A bit 50-50 on this one. There's some nice moments. There's some nice singing. Some of the phrasing wasn't actually 100%. There was a few lines where she suddenly breaks a line up and it doesn't work. You should. I always think you should sing something as you would say it. So there were certain things in there that made me sort of think, oh, now this is not that good. And then it kind of got a little bit boring towards the end because nothing really happened. It was just it was a nice laid back kind of song, well sung, but I can only give it a 50% of enthusiasm. Sorry.
Okay, and Smiley, if you can remove your... Yes, thank you.
Sorry, Dawn. Yeah, very much what Barry said. It was really nice. She's got a very lovely lilty voice. Little bit too much guitar for me. It kind of... I was waiting for, come on, lads, someone else in the band have a go. And the guitarist was kind of going, no, just me. It was very sweet, very nicely produced. We've had good production this morning. It was just very sweet. It didn't really rock my world, but I thought it was very beautifully sung. Yeah, nice. I'll give it 4-letter word.
Okay, Steve James.
No, that's the operative word, is nice. I've written down nice as well. Maria Muldaur sort of came to my head when she first came in. That's what I thought it was going to go, but it didn't. I agree with Steve. There's far too much guitar. Nice guitar playing, but it got in the way. There was too much fiddling about. Some harmonies would have been good, but there weren't any, just to lift it a bit. At times I thought the pitching was a bit off, but that may be just me. And a bit more instrumentation. Yeah, it was nice. It was laid back. Harmonies would have really helped it. Some vocal harmonies would have really lifted it a bit. I agree. 50-50. I agree with Barry.
Nice is so kind of silently, gently damning, isn't it? Steve Lillywhite.
Well, it was a word. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Well, the trouble with it is that it started at one level and it finished at the same level. Yeah. What we got from the first song was we got builds, we got movement throughout the whole song. This didn't have that. But she did have a great voice, and I wrote "Midnight at the Oasis," and one of the greatest songs. I mean, I love that song, but it had more of a hook. It had that incredible, that really high something note that she sung. But yeah, so yes, she has got a beautiful voice. She's a lovely voice, and it's very pleasant and very nice to listen to the voice. But, you do need more than that on a record. And this didn't quite have it for me.
Well, I've got to say, I feel exactly the same way as you all do about it. Nice. There were little hints in the upper register that she had of Carole King, actually, when Carole King would hit her upper register. But I'd have loved to have heard her lower register, and we didn't get to hear that at all. So it felt quite... as you said, it came in and it left all on the same kind of energy level, which wasn't as... It didn't kind of go anywhere. Okay, that won't be one that will be featuring on The Breakfast Show, I'm afraid. But I'd love to hear her do something else. So, Randy Parsons, thank you very much for sending that in. But please send me something that I can open and read. Right, we have a track here called... what does this say? It's from Bonita Clark. Bonita Clark with no E. It's called... It's Getting Near Christmas. It's that time of year, guys.
It's getting near Christmas. It's getting near Christmas. Decorations, wrapping presents, no more time to spare. Everybody hurrying and rushing everywhere. Yeah, it's getting near Christmas. Santa Claus will soon be loading up his sleigh. Now the snow is falling, everybody knows that Mr. Snowman will appear, and when he's here it means it's getting near Christmas. The crackers and the funny hats, all the party games, I'm counting every day until we meet together again. We'll kiss beneath the mistletoe while outside as the cold wind blows. Bed beside the fireside, we'll cuddle up real tight. I'll whisper I love you as I look into your eyes. Whoa, decorations wrapping presents, no more time to spare. Everybody hurrying and rushing everywhere. Carols singing, bells are ringing, now it's almost here, the most magic.
Oh, sorry, that was accidental. That was
Probably did us a
accidental.
favour there, Dawn, I reckon.
I think that was perfect.
Okay, sorry, that was
You
accidental.
might have done us a favour.
That was a great ending. I really enjoyed that.
We weren't expecting that.
Very short song. Well, you know, a slight accidental bump of the mouse here. Chaps, shall I carry on with that track?
No.
No, okay. That is a resounding no from 3. Okay.
I'll second that, or third it, or fourth it.
Okay, well, all right. Well, shall we just move along from that track altogether onto the next one? Okay, this... well, you know, strange things happen. Now, I
Who
have
on
to
earth
say...
puts a Christmas song out in November, eh, Griff?
Well, yeah, exactly. Smiley. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But
It's getting near November the 21st. You know that?
we another 6 days. But we have to. We know though that Christmas songs are going to be coming forward, and we can't be damning about the fact that they are Christmas songs. It's simply that whether they're good or not, and yes.
As long as they got something different.
Yeah, well, that was different in a non-joyous way. Anyway, let's move on to. Shall we? Ooh, let's move on. This is Orianthi. I don't know if it's pronounced Orianthi or Orianthi, but the track is called Some Kind of Feeling.
It's not the weight of life hanging on my shoulders. Chasing love down on the street was only turning my heart colder. When you walked into my world, now you're by my side. All the ghosts are gone, they used to keep me up at night. I guess I'll never understand how I found somebody like you, baby. My world was so black and white, you turned me to colors out of the blues. Because everybody's looking for something, we're all searching for a deeper meaning. Gonna make it through the night just to be right by your side. 'Cause baby, 'cause you give me some kind of feeling. Together with all the broken pieces, show me the light when I couldn't find a single reason. You took my hand when I was falling in the dark. Thank you for loving me when I was so hard to love. I guess I'll never understand how I found somebody like you, baby. My world was so black and white, you turned me to colors out of the blues. Because everybody's looking for something, we're all searching for a deeper meaning. Gonna make it through the night just to be right by your side. 'Cause baby, 'cause you give me some kind of
Some Kind of Feeling, and that was Orianthi, and it's the title track taken from an album with the same name that will be put together and coming out in 2025. She is, it goes on to say, with each new fiery, emotionally impactful single on Woodward Avenue Records, and it's not giving me any details of exactly where she's from, but certain things point to London, but I'm not sure. So I'm just whizzing through lots and lots and lots of info detail here, where what I'm actually after, it's a kind of oral money shot, apparently. The songs... Okay, I'm not getting any info here on exactly where she's from, which is really what I'm after and what the background is. Okay, well, let's move on anyway. Steve James, would you like to go first, please?
Oh, that was excellent. She's got a fantastic voice. It felt great. I thought it was going to be a Staxy Motown thing, and then the guitar came in, which I must admit at times I found a bit too much. It's screaming for brass, absolutely screaming for it, in my opinion. And sax would have been better. I mean, some of the guitar playing was lovely, but that solo was, I thought, unnecessary. But otherwise, brilliant. Wonderful voice, cool song, great feel. Just a couple of things I found just poked me a little bit, but otherwise I thought it was brilliant.
Okay, thank you very much. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, well, the thing that stuck out for me really was, I mean, the good thing was that she had the ability to take a mid-tempo song and give it energy with her vocal. Mm-hmm. And that's a very difficult thing to do because it wasn't a fast song, but she gave it energy. And that was great. Really good vocal. But for me, that guitar player, I mean, it was just overplaying. I mean, there were some lovely holes that he filled in. Sometimes as a producer, and you guys know this, that to produce a hole in the music is sometimes the most difficult thing to do, and he filled in all the holes, and it was just a pity, I mean, he's a great guitar player, but it was just overplaying, especially the solo in the middle. It was, it needed more of a sort of as Steve James said, more of a cool type, Steve Croppery type guitar playing rather than a sort of heavy rock type guitar playing. It didn't help the song, and you could argue that it might have made it a little bit worse. But what a great voice and a good song, really good song, and very well played with everything else. It just, as Steve said, a couple of little things, and she could have a really good song there. Really good record. The song is great. The record is not quite as good as the song.
Now, it looks as though Orianthi, sorry. It looks very much as though it says guitar, lead and backing vocals. So I'm guessing that it's her playing the guitar there that there's too much of by the sounds of it. So there we go. Smiley.
Yeah, I agree with the gentleman, actually. She has got a brilliant voice, and I tell you what it did here. It hit the sweet spot, absolutely smack on the tempo. You could see that's a drummer's dream when you get a track like that come through, and it's at that tempo, and you just sit in the groove. I totally agree about the guitar. It was like, why? Some sexy brass or some BVs, a bit gospely. They had it in their hand, and it was just like someone. I don't know. Well, probably you'll find out the producer was the guitar player because that's usually the way, isn't it? But no, it was a great song and fantastic hook in there. I'll be humming that all day.
It does say she is the guitar player herself.
I rest my case.
You said the producer. Okay. I missed that then.
What I mean is somebody very, very tied in with that song, played the guitar on that song.
Yes.
It wasn't just the guy, they said, do you fancy doing a bit of guitar over the top? It was heavily influenced by the guitar. A little bit too much, just a little bit. More Steve Cropper, less Slash, I would say, as Steve said.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Smiley. And Barry Upton.
I was loving it up until that guitar solo. It was as Steve Lillywhite said about the vocal. It was so powerful, and you could dance to the vocal. The vocal was so rhythmic. You could actually dance. If they took everything else away, you'd be dancing to that vocal. And that's a great thing. If you've got a great rhythm section and also a great vocal that has got that feel, then you're on a winner. But then the guitar solo came in, and it was like Aerosmith crashing through the wall, and gate crashing, a really good session. And I love that Hammond organ in the back. And I was thinking, no, maybe it's like Steve James said, a sax would have been a better option for the solo, or maybe even the Hammond organ do a little solo. But like has been said, it's got to be a bit cooler. If it was me, I would say listen to Bonnie Raitt and the kind of solo that she would do, and it would be very sparse. It would be very obviously slide guitar, slightly dirty, not ultra dirty like that was, and that would make it 10 times better. My only other criticism was the end. The ending was terrible. And what they should have done, in my opinion, if it had been me producing it, would have ended up on some kind of feeling, and that feeling would have been the last thing you heard, with everything else dropping out and just the vocal feeling, and then that leaves you with the title in your head.
Okay, thank you very much, Barry Upton. Valid point
wise
there.
words.
Very good, valid.
Yeah, wise words.
Yes. Ed Roth was on keyboards. Whoever that is. Well, hello to all of them. Anyway, you see, we get all this information. I want to know the details. Where are you from? Sounded quite American, but could be London for all we know. Let's move on to the next track. Now, this is a new one from... Now, it won't be coming out for a little while, obviously. So it's Come Here First. This is Love Parade with a track called New Career. New career, and that is Love Parade. Barry Upton, would you like to go first, please?
Not really, but I will. I don't know. I didn't really like it. I've got to be honest. I think that part of it was the phrasing of some of the lyrics. Again, like I was talking about a little bit earlier, sometimes that can really put me off if words are said in a certain way and they don't flow over the notes well enough. So that puts me off. And then there's the noise. It was just a noise that was coming to try and drown the vocal out. I mean, the vocal was EQ'd so that it would cut through, but it just wasn't nice on the ears. So, and then finally, the title, She Dreams of a New Career. For me, that's not really a song.
Okay.
You know, that's just my opinion. But anyway, there you go. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you very much there, Barry Upton. Smiley.
Well, I'm torn on this one because there was a lot in there I really liked. I really liked the vocals in the chorus. It really opened up, and that kind of ghostly piano thing going against his vocal, I thought was really cool. When it started, I thought it sounded like Love Like Blood, Killing Joke, because it had that kind of 80s, but it kind of didn't really go anywhere. I was waiting for it to really open up in the middle. There was a good stop in the middle after the solo. It stops in the chorus, which is clever. But I'd like to hear it again, I think. But I'm more on the side of liking it than not liking it.
Okay, thank you very much. Steve James.
I have to say I didn't like it very much. I didn't like the song. Barry's right. New Career is a very strange title, and it doesn't come off the tongue very well. Phrasing-wise, it's a difficult word to sing. I thought the mix let it down a little bit. It was definitely 80s, which is a cool vibe, but I didn't like the vocal sound very much. It needed a better mix, I thought. The song just didn't do it for me, I'm afraid. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
A mix would help. Sorry, a better mix would help it, but it's just a bit lumpy as well. You know, it's a bit thick and lumpy. I couldn't move to it either. Anyway, sorry.
Well, that's okay. That's what we're all here for. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, I have to say that I was disappointed with it. I didn't, you know, you can write a poem and you can think that reads really well, but it's not to do with how well it reads. It's to do with how well it scans in the music. And the vocal didn't scan. It was like that didn't work in the verse. And it was just sort of noisy for no reason. And that's a horrible thing to say, but I felt it was noisy for no reason. It's like, it was a sort of and I know they're a good band and that, but it just felt nothing on it was particularly endearing. And I'm sorry to say, it's like every chorus was this big sound that was, probably just looped into every chorus. So you didn't feel any personality coming out. You didn't, and yeah, it was a little bit 80s sound, but just the sort of noisy 80s sound. It had no finesse. It had no grace to it. I'm sorry to say.
Well, I mean, that's what we're all here to do, to give our opinions. Love Parade are renowned as a band that are from the 80s. They had originally a quite a similar sound, and still do at times, to Duran Duran, in fact. But that song, I've got to be really honest as well. Am I going to be playing that? I've got to be honest, guys. It's so far off your usual mark. And when you talked about scanning off the tongue, lyrically, there, Steve, also scanning off the paper, I almost called it New Carer. When I did it first, which obviously it's New Career, but it's an odd one, even for a title of a song, and sometimes odd really, really works. But I've got to be honest, I expected something more, something better, or something very different to what we got. But Love Parade, thank you very much. I hate saying things when you know people as well. They're a wonderful band from all around the UK, from London, Devon, all over the place. Anyway, your dog is obviously there, Smiley, enjoying the music.
Oh, sorry about that. She go out. Sorry.
That's okay. Anyway, let's move on to the next track. We have got Jodi and the Germs, and this track is called Winter Heart. Winter Heart.
Always on the wrong side of you, but I need hope, always wishing a happy ending. Don't wanna spend my life pretending I was always one step behind you. How I waited, how I dreamt it. You come back on this winter's night. If I close my eyes and just so here we go. Couldn't say how much I make it. Try as I might, I can't escape it. I was always so in love with you. But how I break on these long forsaken evenings. All I can hear is my lonely breathing. I was
Sorry. Hang on.
So here we go. Never knew and you never told me. I never asked and you never showed me. I was always on the wrong side of you. But I need hope, always wishing a happy ending. Don't wanna spend my life
Jodi and the Germs, and the track was called Winter Heart. Steve Lillywhite, would you like to go first?
Yes. Well, I think probably the thing that we're all going to say is that she probably could have sung it a little better. It musically everything was completely in tune. It was great. I mean, a violin does not have frets, so a violin could be very out of tune if you wanted. But that violin was fantastic.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful, and it was really well played and everything. You can say, who was that band who did Happy Birthday?
Altered Images.
Altered Images. Yeah. Altered Images. Had an element of that, which is just a charming. What's that?
5 points for me.
5 points for you, yeah. Which is charming. And there's elements of this song where the vocals were charming. It reminded me of those, sort of Rachel Sweet, Kirsty MacColl, early Stiff Records type singing, But nowadays, I think it needs a little bit better. And she has a charming voice. She just needs to practice a bit more and have someone in the studio to say, to direct her a little bit, to get a better vocal. I mean, but not bad.
Okay, thank you very much. Smiley.
Yeah, it reminded me of kind of, excuse me, Britpoppy girly bands like Sleeper and Echo Belly. Do you know what I mean? They've all got that lovely kind of swagger about them, and they're really sweet. There's a song in there. I hate talking about the production as opposed to the song, but I thought the production let it down a little bit. It sounded a bit demo-y to me. I thought if you gave it to a producer, I think there's a song in there, and I really like the way the violin works with her voice and everything. So there's a lot of potential there. I just think it's like a great song. If you took that to a producer would make that great song into a really great song, I think.
Yes, it's just so pitchy, though, the singing. That's the thing that's really odd. Barry Upton.
I've got to slightly disagree with you guys. It didn't do anything for me. It didn't get me feeling like I want to listen to a Celtic song. I mean, I love Celtic stuff. It's very lyrical, and when it's produced well, it sounds great. And the music and the vocals have to complement each other on that. On this, it just sounded like a monotonish type thing from beginning to end without the music breaking it up. And that was the problem. And by the end of it, I was actually reaching for my glasses because it was going on a bit too long. But then it ended, so it was okay. But I really, there's nothing on that. I agree with Smiley about the production. It's not crisp enough. There's nothing that you can't hear the music. It's not defined enough. And Irish music, if it's going to be, or Celtic, whatever it is, it's got to be defined. You've got to hear everything.
Well, they're an Oxford band, and they formed in 2020, and she's quite a prolific songwriter, and it might have felt as though it was longer because of the false start that I had when, again, this very, very delicate new mouse is doing its own thing. But so my apologies there. I'll take the blame for that one. Steve James.
I wasn't sure about the song, to be honest. It's okay. 100% about the production. It was quite quiet compared to everything else we've heard today. So I don't know if it was mastered. If it had been mastered, it didn't sound like it to me. I think the mix lets it down. Too many accents with the drums. That drove me a bit mad. Bap, bap, bap every other. Every time that bit came in, that is unnecessary. And lack bass. There was no feeling down the bottom end of the mix. What was coming to me, it was okay. As Smiley said, it needs production, and a decent mix would help it too. To be fair, the violin was lovely, but the pitching absolutely. But a lot of that was because everything sonically was so close. It needed to be a little bit more separate or something, just to bring everything out. It was an interesting mix. It didn't really do it for me. I'm sorry, but she's not nice voice. But yeah,
Okay, thank you very much, Steve James. I've got to be honest again. You know, for me, it was too much out of tune with the vocal, and it had that very. It did sound demo-y. Absolutely spot on there, chaps. As always. Okay, so we have another track here. This is a new artist. Sorry, not a new artist. Another artist. This is Don Powell's Occasional Flames. In fact, the complete reverse of a new artist. Don Powell, who of course was the drummer in Slade, and their band is called the Occasional Flames. It's Don Powell's Occasional Flames, and the track is called Never Mind the. It says here there must be another word missing there somewhere.
Christmas time is near. Never mind the platitudes that we always hear. Forget your empty talk of peace, goodwill and cheer. If it doesn't happen all throughout the year, let's all carry on with all this carry on. Never mind the bubbles, keep on keeping on. Let's all carry on. See the feelings that are false, the saccharine, the sweet, the sentimental schmaltz, the ghost of Christmas present, the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas future. None of this will last. So let's all carry on with all this carry on. Never mind the bubbles, keep on keeping on. Let's all carry on with all this carry on. Never mind the bubbles, keep on keeping on. When the Christmas bells are pealing, we all want that Christmas feeling. We all want that Christmas healing now. With the Christmas spirit flowing, we reap what we are sowing. If we don't keep it going now. So let's all carry on with all this carry on. Never mind the bubbles, keep on keeping on. So let's all carry on with all this carry on. Never mind the bubbles, keep on keeping on.
Oh, nice little touch. Steve James, would you like to go first on that?
That was fun. I loved it. I hope he's made a video. Is all I can say. Because it needs a video to make it work. It was lovely. Every cliche in the book, for good reason. He's obviously had good fun doing it. I've met Mr. Powell a couple of times. He's a nice man. So great, well done. Yeah, video. Let's see what it's. Let's hope everyone's having fun.
I'm sure there will be. Okay, Steve Lillywhite.
I thought it was great, actually. The band's called The Occasional Flames.
Don Powell's Occasional Flames.
Oh, that's right, because there was a movie, wasn't it? Slade in Flame, which was one of the greatest music business movies ever made, actually. It flopped completely when it came out, but it's now considered a classic. Anyway, I digress. It's called Never Mind the Bubbles. Is that what he was saying?
It's actually Never Mind because it was never mind the cliches, never mind the bubbles, never mind the...
Right.
It was just never mind the...
It was great. I loved it. I mean, goodness, at least it's a Christmas record with something that's
unique,
just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit different. It was fun. It wasn't trying too hard. Yeah. Like sometimes if a record doesn't sound like it's trying too hard, you can give it the benefit of the doubt. If it's trying too hard and it doesn't work, you can feel antagonistic towards it. But this didn't feel like it was trying too hard. So look, it's not going to blow the world up, but it's okay. It's good and it's fun. Well, thumbs up for that.
Thank you very much, Steve Lillywhite. Barry Upton.
Well, of course, Don Powell has been spent Christmas after Christmas watching Noddy Holder get all them royalties, and so it was inevitable at some point he'll bring out a Christmas record. And at the beginning, it was really funny; it made us laugh, and there was some really good moments in it where there were a few comic moments. I wasn't so sure about the verses, but I think the chorus is enough to get it radio play. The chorus is a killer, and that was very, very good. It's sing-alongable, and I think he'll get a few plaudits on this one.
Yeah, yes, never mind. I think it may be called. I can't see that. I've looked for everything, but I've got a feeling it may be called "Never Mind the Baubles," and Smiley, which I like. Well, I like that. Never mind the baubles.
That's very clever because obviously the nod to the Pistols will give that little hint to you, Dawn. First of all, Don Powell is a living legend, right? There aren't many living legends in this world, so He
almost wasn't.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Which I'll tell you off air, Steve, a great story about him one day. See, now for me, that was a great song. Take the Christmas element out of it for a second, right? I would be surprised if that wasn't already a song and they've Christmased it up, because it was a great song, right? It was a great kind of glam record. And I think they might have spooned a few, well, why don't we do a Christmas song? We'll whack a few Christmas there. You know, to be honest, there wasn't enough Christmas kitchen there because I used it all up last week on Christmas Smile. So, you know, I wanted a few more bells and a few more bits of tiddly widdlies. But I loved it, man. That's going to be in my head all day. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Lovely. It's
too early.
No, it's not true. Don't start all that bar humbug stuff. Anyway, Don Powell's
Call me what you like. It's too early.
Don Powell's Occasional Flames. It's not too early to get the songs out to start. You have to.
It is too early. Take note, Griff.
Still November.
Griff is just plugging it actually right now. He's just sent me images of it.
Griff, no.
We love you, Griff.
But no. Anyway, so that was Don Powell's Occasional Flames and Never Mind the Baubles. And it is right. So they did that. They sent it to me like that to make me guess what the last bit is, apparently. I've just got a message coming through from them, which is rather nice. Anyway, yes. And of course, Don Powell is indeed a lovely, lovely man. And I've had a few lovely chats with him. And of course, I did such a great show with one of the other members of Slade as well, Dave Hill, who was an absolute riot. He is so funny, so funny. A lovely accent, goes up and down like that from Birmingham. They're all ours, lovely. Anyway, so let's move on to the next artist. I will play that. In fact, I'm going to play that to death, and it doesn't even feel very Christmassy until you get to that chorus. Really good fun. Okay, so next artist. This is, oh my goodness, this is Thin. Hang on a minute. It's Phil Stanley, and the track is called Thin Kin Buchu. Interesting. Well, that was interesting. So, although it's spelt thin, kin, Bouchoo, it's clearly thinking about you. But that's the title of the track spelt unusually there. On purpose, obviously. And that was Phil Stanley, and co-written by I think it was Loz, somebody called Loz. Sorry, the screen has run away now. And but no details, I'm afraid, on where he's from, who he is. Do any of you maybe know him? He sounds as though he's been around for a while. Phil Stanley, I have no other details whatsoever other than this is a song that he wanted to put forward for this track. No doubt, but I can see that he's been on the thread this morning, social media thread. So he's obviously on the thread there. Phil, give us some details about you, please. Barry Upton, would you like to go first?
Didn't knock my socks off. It was okay. It was well played. Everything's in the kind of right place. But the song was there's nothing musically great about the song. It's just something you've heard a million times before. And even the chorus, was a little bit. I always feel you can do something more with a chorus than just say the same line over and over again. And I just think it's lazy songwriting. That's my opinion. But it's okay. There's nothing really wrong with it, except that it doesn't knock my socks off.
Interesting what you just said there, because last week's song that had an incredibly repetitive chorus and lyric all the way through the song won. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, it just shouts out 7 out of 10 for me. And honestly, that's it was okay. I mean, there seems to be a lot of songs today with too much guitar nerdling. I mean, I don't know why they just happen to be. Even on the Don Powell song, it had a little bit too much guitar nerdling for me. It just I don't know. Maybe this is coming back into fashion, and I didn't know. But again, this wasn't so bad as an example, like some of the other ones. But it still, was stepping on it was, and even though there were lots of nice harmonies, it was all a little bit monotonic in the singing. Even though there was harmonies, so just didn't quite work for me. No, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve Lillywhite. Smiley Barnard.
Well, do you remember the track? I can't remember which one it was. We said earlier about it being like a Stax track with great brass, and that absolutely had that. However, I think he missed a trick because there was a lot of repetitiveness. As Steve said, it went over the same kind, and there was a couple of times where it had changed course and changed chords, a couple of rundowns maybe. It had potential. If he'd brought that to me, I would have said it was a great track. There's a couple of little chord changes that would have taken it and given it a bit more emotion. It was really well produced, but I love the brass in it. It was exactly what we were missing in the track earlier, which I can't remember which one it was. So I actually really like that.
Thank you very much, Smiley Barnard. And Steve James.
I think the song lets it down, to be honest. I didn't think the song was great. The lyrics in the chorus, I agree with Barry, didn't really do it for me. But I've written down here, the brass was great. Loved it. Again, too much guitar noodling. And the chorus, I thought was just a bit pedestrian, to be honest. It didn't lift enough for me. It was nice. It was cool. But as agreed with Steve Lillywhite, 7 out of 10, I think.
Oh,
nice brass though. Loved it. That was all great.
Yes, Barry wants to come in on.
I have to come back to you because she challenged my opinion about the repetitiveness, and I
didn't challenge it. I was saying the irony was that one.
I know, and I'm just going to explain to you the difference.
Okay.
Last week it was repetitive, but musically it changed and it was good, and it never got dull. Whereas on this one, it's repetitive and it gets dull. So that's the difference. Just wanted to explain that.
Thank you very much, Barry Upton. Okay, and I quite liked the groove, but it didn't sort of, as you all say, it didn't sort of lift any more than that. And that's a great shame, because that's the little magic thing, and that's of course what comes from great producers. So we always need great producers to create fantastic kind of the magic within the songs that can often go missing. Right, let's move on to the next artist and the next track that we have here. It's pronounced Crymwav, but they're actually it's spelled Crymwav. Crymwav. It looks a bit Welsh, but it's not. Well, they could be for all I know. I don't know. And the song is called Contagious.
Walk the straight line, 'cause when you know ain't my game, it's not worth the pain.
Crymwav, pronounced Crymwav, obviously, but spelled Crymwav. And they were formed in 2022 from the ashes of Los Angeles rock and rollers smash fashion, when guitarist-songwriter Roger Deering and lead guitarist Lloyd Stewart Casson teamed up with Goat Snake and ex-Obsessed drummer Greg Rogers and bassist Bruce Braddock, all of similar age and a shared baptism into the music world through the American hardcore scene back in the 80s. Punk, post-punk, goth, NWOBM, as well as Thin Lizzy, UFO, The Ruts and the Damned. Crymwav started to come together for me. Who's writing this? Started to come together for me. This will be a quote. While I was staying in London around 3 years ago, says Roger Deering, I went to London to visit my girlfriend who was staying in Ladbroke Grove. A songwriting spree came to me. I wanted to channel the bands from that area. Hawkwind, Clash, Killing Joke, Motorhead, and I came back to LA with a fistful of songs. So there we go. And in November 2023, a Crymwav self-released a 6-song EP. Anyway, so shall we give our opinions on this track? Steve James, would you like to go first?
Song again. I mean, verses were okay, they were cool, but the contagious being repeated continually I found difficult. It's a nasty word to sing in the first place. Contagious, no, it felt uncomfortable. Nice guitar playing. The middle 8 went on too long for me, and then the Lizzie quotes were cool, but it just went on too long. I've written here nearly. It's sort of okay. The choruses didn't quite get there for me. That was all. And that's obviously extremely important. Needed a bit more production, basically. A bit more sitting in a rehearsal room and working on it a bit more, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve James. Smiley?
Yes, lots to like. A few bits I would have... What I liked was when it was obvious. As soon as they got it, very Thin Lizzy, double guitar, blah, 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 and the hook line. And then it got to the middle 8, and it suddenly... we all perked up, and it was like, oh, hang on a minute, and it went down, and this is interesting. And then I thought, oh, it's going to be a little solo, and then they're going to smash it into the chorus. That solo went on for ages, man. So I think from a producer's point of view, trim the fat a little bit, make it more of a 3-minute smasher, because there's a lot in there to like. There's a slight possibility it could be a bit too cliched. It's a bit. Like he just listed off his record collection, basically, didn't he? And you can see he's taken a bit of everybody. My biggest bit of advice to Crymwav is trim your press release, mate, and get it down to about like 25 seconds. And I don't need to know what your influences are because I'll hear them myself. But there's a lot in there to like. I just thought it was a little bit, didn't really catch fire for me.
Do you know, you've just hit on something that is actually so annoying to read with all the emails that I get coming in.
Yeah, get to the point. I don't care what your record collection looks like or what you're wearing or that your girlfriend lives in Ladbroke Grove. I don't care. I want to hear, about your band in 25 words or less.
There is all of that. But no, genuinely, and I would say this to all pluggers out there as well, genuinely, when we are deciding what we like for radio, it's great if you just let us kind of get a feel for it rather than tell us, the passion it has and all of that. I'd rather hear it and decide for myself whether it's playable. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, I mean, the basic thing was for me that his voice didn't really have anything special to it. I actually got a little element of Deep Purple. And I thought, oh, and I suddenly started going in my head, what if Ian Gillan was singing this? Or, that was my favorite version of Deep Purple. And he didn't have the range. It didn't jump out, and once you heard what the song's about, there was no other parts of the story. The story was told on the first chorus. Everything else was just sort of playing, and it wasn't songwriting. It didn't all come together with a conclusion on what was very, very just one level in terms of its message. and that's all you got. And I'm not sure if that's good enough nowadays, and as Smiley said, a little bit long, could be chopped at, but I love the drumming. I thought the drummer was great, and probably a good live band as well. So, and maybe he sings it with a bit more something, it was between two stones. It wasn't catchy enough to be Dave Grohl or something like Foo Fighters,
Yes.
and it wasn't heavy enough to be a heavier band,
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve Lillywhite. Barry Upton.
Yeah, I like the drums, but that was about all, really. I mean, I have to agree with with Steve James. The song is just not there. There's two things that you've got to be careful of. If you're going to sing Contagious, is how you sing it to start off with, because it could sound very rude, and if you don't get it quite right. And the other thing, yeah, they've got it. The other thing is that, okay, if he's going to see his girlfriend in Ladbroke Grove, and she's contagious, why is he singing "Stay Away, Stay Away"? It doesn't make any sense to me. There's got to be. I know you're going to have a go at me.
I won't. I won't.
You're going to say, oh, you're too literal. You're listening too literally. I know. I've been through it all before. Been through the mill, but it doesn't matter. It detracts from the song for me and doesn't make it a whole thing that makes me want to listen to it again.
I wasn't going to say anything about the lyrical side of it.
Yes, you were.
No, honestly, I wasn't. I'll tell you what I was going to say. I really, really loved the start. The intro into that track I thought was really good. It was clever. It hooked me right in. Started with the left side only, and then it came the right, and then the song comes crashing. That was really good. It got me going. But instead of continuing in that same fashion where it would just prick up your ears all the way along with something exciting and interesting, and clearly they've got the musicality, the ability to be able to do that, but it didn't. And I think that it could, and they could kind of work harder at that, because they're clearly very good, very well seasoned artists, musicians. Anyway, let's move on to the next track, and this is Masi-Masi is the name of the band or artist, M-A-S-I, and it's Lesser Men.
Wake me up, and please don't remind me. Shake me up, and please tread lightly. It's been one of those days, won't get me through. One of those nights, I'm not in the mood. Wake me up, and please don't remind me. Shake me up, please tread lightly. It's been one of those days, won't get me through. Don't wind me up, please don't wind me up. Lesser man, the devil's at your door. Remember when we used to know nothing, and now we know less, we don't wanna know more. We don't cry, we never saw no need. No, we don't try, you won't catch me. Catch me. my phone.
Masi-Masi and Lesser Men is the name of that track. Steve Lillywhite, would you like to go first, please?
Oh, that was great. That was fun. That had kept you interested. It was reminded me a little bit of Smashing Pumpkins in the way that he was singing, which is normally not a vocal tone I like. It's a bit nasally and a bit moany, but actually this sounded okay. I enjoyed his singing. I loved when the song just emptied out in places. It's so important because that keeps you engaged in what's happening next. So yeah, one of those songs I'd like to hear again. I thought it was very good. But where are they from? They sound American.
Well, Masi-Masi, Lesser Men, a vivid melancholic snapshot of life as a young man caught in the repetitive, often stagnant grind of a dreary northern English town. The track perfectly captures the frustration and yearning for something more as Masi-Masi and his friends find themselves reliving the same day, wondering if life is quietly passing them by, drawing on all sorts of influences, but recorded in Los Angeles. Lesser Men marks the first taste of an album's worth of new material on the horizon that they're doing right now. So, despite the fact it's been recorded there, it's the origins of the song retain the distinctly raw, very British edge, grounded in the working class reality of Bradford in England, where he's actually from. So there you go.
Yeah, well, as I say, I don't know what the boys think, but that was that was really nice, very enjoyable.
Barry Upton, what do you think?
I agree, and I did love the space in the middle, and that was very good for a certain period. And then I just felt, do you know what? I'm really wanting to hear a jangly guitar go through this next section, or maybe it was the chorus or a B section or something like that. But just to break it up and then go back to the spatial kind of thing. It's quite nice, and I know it's very trippy if you have that kind of feel all the way through, but I just felt that I wanted to hear a jangly guitar, and that's my only criticism of it, really. Otherwise, it was pretty good.
Thank you very much, Barry Upton. Steve James.
Loved it. Claire, talking about phrasing, Barry, that was great. The phrasing,
yeah,
it really was, and the whole thing just pulled me in. Nicely mixed, clear, economical with everything. That's well put together, nicely produced. The guitar, the chord changes were great as well. I thought, loved it. Let's hear that one again. Yes.
Lovely.
Really good.
Great. Thank you very much, Steve James. And Smiley Barnard.
Yes, I totally agree with everybody. It was very clever. It was very... the only thing I'll disagree with, Barry, is that the jangly guitar thing would have made it a bit obvious. And I understand that. I get the fact that they didn't do that, I thought was really clever. And then when the girl's voice came in the second verse, that was genius. And but it was interesting. It was like you couldn't just let it go over. Something was coming around the corner every 8 bars, but it was really subtle. It was really well done, and that's brilliantly thought out as a song and a production, I think, and a performance.
Absolutely. Well, personally, I will be playing that. I absolutely loved it. Just everything about it. And it really did give you that whole feeling, that kind of the dark side of life somewhere. It doesn't matter that it's, that it's originated from Bradford or wherever. But I loved it. Absolutely superb. And musically, there was nothing to get bored with at all. So I'll be playing that frequently. Okay, now let's move on to a track from Yachts. And Yachts, the name of the song is A Fool Like You. Oh, I have to add as well, sorry, that this is it's one of the lost tapes. It's originally, and it's in its original state, a demo from 1980 that has never, it's only recently been found and never been aired.
I was going to say, I know this band.
Yes.
From Liverpool. Band from Liverpool.
A Fool Like You, and that is Yachts. Well, I've got a nice little backstory to this. In fact, on May the 11th, 1981. Yachts decided to split up. It was amicable, no rows, no tantrums, which was only to be expected as they'd first met and become friends at Liverpool Art College in late 1975, all studying fine art. A gang of mates that became a band, Yachts formed in 1977. They'd had a good innings. They'd supported Sex Pistols in Liverpool, released a debut single on Stiff Records, 2 albums on Radar, and the first of which even made it into the Billboard's Hot 100. And they toured the US twice, supported The Who on a European tour, and gigged in the UK seemingly constantly since 1977. And they'd given their all, but it wasn't to be. Anyway, basically, they had, so I've got the condensed version here as well, rather than going through all of that there. And nothing has happened basically until 2024. So Henry Priestman sent me an email, and Henry of his old band was the Christians, pre-Christians, Post Yachts was Christians. Anyway, but his original band, Yachts, they released the album way back when, but they also did a load of songs for a potential third album, but they ended up, as I've just said, splitting up in 1981. And the tapes have been languishing in his loft until he moved house. More recently, they've been discovered, and he's attached the lead-off track, A Fool Like You, on MP3. And well, what do we think of it? Who would like to go first, please? Steve, now you know of the Yachts back in the day, so would you like to go first, please?
Yeah. Well, they were a great band back then, and you can hear this and you can think this is a band who have a sound, and it was in the days when bands had sounds. Now, this to me sounds like a demo, and it's a period piece, and it's a fascinating thing to listen to from those days. But it does sound like a demo, and I think we're used to hearing things a little bit more polished. But you know what? I don't know where it fits, to be honest, because it didn't fit in 1980, and it's a nice thing to hear. But I'm not sure if it's something that you would want to really go out and invest too much time in it. But well done. I mean, they were a great band, and I remember them from Liverpool, because I said from Liverpool, didn't I? So,
yes, you did.
You know, it's amazing how you can remember these things.
Yes.
But good. I mean, I don't know what to say, really. It's a snapshot in time.
Okay. Do you feel that there is any life in redoing the song? Do you think that there is anything?
Well, no, not really, because it's not about the song. It's about who the band were.
Okay.
You know, and if you're a fan of Yachts, which there were quite a few back in that day, you know, you'd probably like this, and it will remind you, and you'll feel young again. And for that reason, it has a reason to be released, you know.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve Lillywhite. Barry Upton.
I liked it to a certain extent. I love there's a few musical moments in that which are really good. I love the intro and how that threw you off the scent of where the one came. You know, I love songs that do that. And then all of a sudden you go, oh, that's the beat. Okay. And that's always a great thing for perking your ears up. There's some lovely bass line sections. The thing that would make me not want to hear this again, this particular version again, is the EQ on the vocal. It just sounded very upper middle all the time, and there's no depth to it, no warmth or anything. And I just felt all the way through it, I thought if only that vocal was EQ'd better, maybe I would like it even more. So I liked it, but with reservations. Okay,
thank you very much. Steve James.
I agree with Mr. Lillywhite, particularly. It's definitely a period piece. It took me back. It did sound like a demo, unfortunately. It's a bit disjointed as well, I thought. It kept breaking up into bits. There's a lot of bits all stuck together, it sounded like to me. Not being rude, but it did. I can hear those ideas. Let's put this idea in here. It doesn't quite do it for me. But as a period piece, I did like the Farfisa organ or whatever, the Vox Continental. That was great. Lovely hearing that again. That was cool. Bit sort of Strangler-esque. But yeah, you know, it just took me back. It did sound like it had been recorded in the early 80s, to be honest. And as Steve said, it needs more polish, really. Things have changed. It sounded very uni as well, very sort of uni rock.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve James. And Smiley.
Yeah, it reminded me of early Waterboys and Teardrop Explodes and stuff like that. It was a really good period, that early 80s. These reissues are great. Yeah, mostly you're Steve, absolutely. You know what? But these reissues are great, but they're great for fan bases. So Yachts fans are going to love this, right? But you won't play it on your show, Dawn, because it's an 80s demo. So the relevance of putting it on Jukebox Judgement doesn't ring with me, because it's like it's a reissue of something that's been found in the loft. If you're going to re-record it, there's a great song in there and update it. But I don't particularly want to hear an old demo from 1980 that's been sitting in a loft.
No, but you've just hit on something though, which was what I was saying earlier. You know, is it worth it? If there is a good song in there, is it worth redoing it? And
yeah, 1,000,000%, absolutely. I've just spent a week in a studio with a guy who brought in songs from 40 years ago. but we made them new and exciting, and it was uplifting. So it's there to do, definitely. But you know,
Okay.
you can't really play an 80s demo on a radio show. I don't think it doesn't stand, as Barry said, it doesn't stand up.
Well, absolutely no. Because there isn't that finesse and polish to it that we would have from today's sound. Having said all of that, it would make a very interesting radio show if it was all about everything to do with that particular period. Because as we've all spotted, it is very much a. It's interesting, isn't it? Calling a song a period piece. You know, it's but it is. That's exactly what it is. Okay, let's move on. So, Henry Priestman, if you'd like to get in touch about modernising any of that with advice from the record producers, please do. We're going to move on to the next track, which is from its Department S, and they have sent a song in. It's called One by One. One by One, and that was Department S. Smiley, would you like to go first, please?
Yes. I really liked a lot of that. I thought it was a really hooky tune. There's a really clever chord change in the chorus. The bass playing's really good on that as well. The lead instrument on that track is the bass, which there's no reason why it should be, but because he played it so well and he put in, it's just very clever. I like the song. I don't want to be negative in any way, but I struggle with his voice a little bit. I've got to be honest, and I don't mean that derogatory. I found that the chorus lifted really well, but if it had added some backing vocals as well, it would have absolutely taken off. So I think I would have added a little bit of sprinkling of magic dust on the top, but it's a really good song. And as I say, the bass playing was awesome.
Well, you ask any woman, we love the sound of a bass. It's bass and drums. There's just something about that.
Drums and bass, actually, Don. I think you'll find it.
Listen, I was talking about the bass first, darling. Okay, Barry Upton.
Yeah, I agree with Smiley. I was listening to the bass throughout it, and it really did stick out. And I thought instrumentally it was very, very good. But as Smiley said, the vocal just completely lets it down, and there's no personality in the vocal. The song's okay. It's not a great. As Steve Lillywhite would say, it's a solid 7.
Okay.
That's his new phrase, isn't it? Now he's just going to sit there.
I'm waiting for him to appear on here with a T-shirt. He should have a T-shirt with solid 7.
He'll just have a little stick with a 7 on it, won't
he? 7. Okay. Okay. So, Steve James.
Well, I concur with it. Good song, nicely played. It's the vocal that lets him down. The character doesn't come out. It's all too around that area of the tone, which doesn't come out. I've written here vocal question mark. The rest of it was really cool. It needed help there. And as we say, I don't want to put it down either, but the vocal does let it down. It doesn't sit on top of the song enough. It sort of sits around there, and because of that, he's got quite a baritone-y voice. It's not coming up, sitting on top of the song enough. Doesn't quite do it for me. Unfortunately, otherwise I thought it was great.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve James. We know what you're talking about, owning the song. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, well, I did a little bit of recording in the 80s with a band called the Chameleons, who I think they've got quite a sort of culty thing going on. And the singer reminds me of this, but his name, Mark Burgess, the singer, and he would sing similar to this, but own it a little bit more. I mean, it's just owning it. And this, he doesn't quite own, well, whether it's in, you can help it own this. I just don't know if people understand what I mean by owning it, but it
singing it in a balls out fashion.
Yeah. He didn't own it. He wasn't singing to the guy at the back of the hall. He was singing to the converted who stand at the front. And it's very important to sing to the person at the back, even though, an attitude can sometimes transcend technique, and there was, because he didn't have the technique, his attitude could have been better. Yes. And it didn't quite hit it. Again, the bass was very, very good. It was okay. It really was a solid 7.
Thank you very much, Steve Lillywhite. Well, now I have to agree about the vocal bit of that. The song itself, I enjoyed it. I did like the song. It's great. Okay, so we've got 8 minutes left. So what I would like to do is to go round the room, and I would like you all, please, to give me your votes with regard to which track this week you feel is the best, which song that you have enjoyed most. And I'm going to start with, who do we start with? Smiley, let's start with you.
Okay, there were 3, I think, really, really stand out tunes. Don Powell's was great, because it was Don Powell and it had a bit of humour to it, so I really liked that. Was it Masi-Masi? Was that the right terminology?
Masi-Masi.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. I wrote it down. Masi-Masi. That was really good, and on another week that would have won. But I don't think anything's going to touch Sack today, because I think that for an opening,
I hope not.
There's my mantra, Steve. You can keep your 7. I'll go with my Sack. But it was such an uplifting piece. Like, 5 people at 7 o'clock in the morning. It woke us all up, and the sun came out, and it ticked every box. And that doesn't happen very often, that a song would be so universally agreed that it was so complete. So,
Okay.
So yeah, congratulations.
So
to
for
Sack.
you, it is Sack.
Yes.
It touched
In a
your
long-winded
sack.
way.
Yes.
In my press release.
We don't have enough time to do this with everybody.
Sorry.
That's you done for the next few weeks,
Yeah,
darling. Okay. No, it's fine. Barry Upton.
Just to remind Smiley that we were listening to it at 2 o'clock in Thailand, and Steve Lillywhite was listening to it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's
in
why
Bali.
you look fresh-faced and haggard.
But having said that, I just agree with you 100%. Masi-Masi got 8 points from me, and that was very, very good. But I have to agree with 9 points. Sack, What a Way to Live, was the best song of the morning.
Thank you very much indeed, Barry.
Of the afternoon. Sorry.
Thank you, Barry. Sorry, we're going to run out of time, guys. So let's move along, please. Steve James, thank you.
Dead heat for me, but I know I can't do that. It's Sack and Masi-Masi. I liked both of them very much, so I'm going to be awkward. I'd like to hear them both again, please.
Now we definitely don't have time for that. But
Look, I think Sack just wins, but I mean, but they're so completely different styles of music. I thought Masi-Masi was really cool too. So I gave them both 9.5.
Thank you very much, Steve James. Steve Lillywhite.
Well, I agree with the boys. I loved Masi-Masi. Don Powell was a great breath of fresh air. I will also like to add Orianthi. Is that some kind of feeling, which was great, except for that guitar. Except for that guitar, but that could have been a real contender, But I will go with Sack. It was unquestionable. It had everything you want in a great record.
Yeah.
But I fully agree. And I loved Sack with What a Way to Live. I enjoyed Don Powell's Occasional Flames. Never mind the Baubles. I thought that was really inventive. Very different style of Christmas song. I enjoyed that. Masi-Masi, I just loved the whole sonic experience of that. That was a delight. And all those, there'll be a few others as well that will be getting airplay. But for me as well, it's got to be Sack. So everybody, well, and Masi-Masi actually for me, equal there. I'm with you on that, Steve James. We're going to play Sack again and finish the show with Sack. Chaps, thank you all so much for joining New Dawn.fm, for joining me, Dawn Parry, and for joining Jukebox Judgement. Wonderful.
But can I just say that that was a very, very good quality of show. Honestly, I mean, there's a handful of those that on another week would have won. Well done, guys. Keep sending in your best songs. We love hearing them.
Absolutely. We certainly do. And in fact, it might be easier just to let you all know now as well that when you do send songs in, just, send them to either to jukeboxjudgement@gmail.com or through the submissions thing. But I find that very tricky to unravel the information there. So it might even be better simply to send them to dawn@newdawn.fm so that we get to see them and MP3 only, and they must be original tracks. Anyway, lots of love to all of you chaps, and thank you so much for joining me here on Jukebox Judgement as always.
Happy Loi Katong from Thailand.
Happy Loi Katong.
Thank you, Barry.
Yes, that's lovely of you, Barry. Thank you very much. And we've all been touched by Sack. Congratulations to Sack.